So these are quite cool. These are the Seinxon Find cards. And well, unlike the Apple AirTag, which is rather one size fits all, well, these are different sizes for different purposes. And I quite like them. They were really easy to set up, although one did have only Chinese instructions in the box, and I needed to use Google Lens to work that out. You just press a button and then it's easy to find it in the Find My app, give it a name. And importantly, for me, certainly, you can share that with your family, as I'm an Android user, so I can't use Apple Find My on here, but I was able to log that in on my iPad and then share that with my wife so she can see all these items on her iPhone. And so, of course, that'll be with us most of the time anyway. It does say that you can use an Android app, but I downloaded the Seinxon Android app and it didn't really sort of seem to work on here. In any case, it wasn't immediately obvious how to make an account on there, so I'm happy just to use the Apple Find My network. It works by using anyone's iPhone to essentially send location data for that Apple AirTag or any device which can be added to that network. They're essentially just little Bluetooth transmitters that are sending out the location of the device. The Apple AirTag has an advertised range of about 30 meters outdoor, and the Seinxons, they have a range advertised of about 50 meters outdoor, so I don't think there's much in it in terms of the performance with the range there. And then the price, now that's important because Apple AirTags, they're not cheap. You can buy them individually for 30 quid each, or you can buy them in packs of 4 essentially for just shy of 100 quid. So think about sort of 25 pounds, especially once you've bought something to kind of hold it in as well. And these are all about 30 pounds, although that's on the Amazon, directly on their website, it's a little bit cheaper, sort of in the range, 25 pounds, especially if you go ahead and buy them in 4s, look down to 73 pounds for 4. So what does it come down to? Well, it comes down to possibly the experience of being able to charge them. So I haven't used these long term yet, but the battery on these, if it lasts a good while and doesn't need to be charged too regularly, so you don't need to think about it very often, that would be quite good. And this one, the little key on this one is charged by USB-C, so that's a nice easy way to charge it. And the wallet ones, the cards, are charged wirelessly, and actually that's even more convenient because that can just be charged from the back of your phone. Just turn it into wireless charging mode, wireless power sharing mode, charge it like that, or any wireless charger. I'm sure you could stick that on any wireless charging mat as well. The Apple AirTags, they just take a watch battery to CR2032, and they are cheap. You know, there's not a lot of expense, but you will need to change that probably once a year, so that's a thing to do. So what is it about then? It's possibly about the form factor. And I do like this. This can just slip into any kind of credit card slot in your wallet. It's a little bit thicker than a credit card, but it is the same size. And then there's one that's the right size. I've put that in my wife's purse, a smaller size, and it could easily go on a keyring, that one as well. And then one that's more sort of keyring, sort of tile size. Lastly, well, they beep loudly. Let's see how loudly they beep. It's quite good. It also has little RGB light on it on this one. So that could be quite good actually if you maybe lost it in some grass at night. The Apple AirTag does beep as well. Possibly not quite as loud, it's a little bit less annoying, which is nice, but it doesn't light up. And then the one in my wallet, and also its little LED lights up as well. So good. Now I suppose this really comes down to the kind of long-term use of them and if they still work in a year, 2 years time. So I'm not going to come back and review these again in a year's time. I just don't think that's going to be worth you waiting for that. So what I'll do, if I do find they're not very good, if they don't work very well for my purposes, then I'll leave a pinned comment below as well. And in that description, you'll also find a link to them on Amazon and at their own website. So far, these do seem like a pretty good Apple AirTag alternative. And their main selling point, I think, is the convenience of being able to use them with the Apple Find My network. There does seem to be a few of these alternatives to the Apple AirTags.